First tonight, while BPL's executive chair says it's unrealistic to expect an electrical grid to be 100% functional 100% of the time, consumers are firing back, saying cutting back even further is also unrealistic. Plus, the Free National Movement leader insisting the governing PLP must take responsibility for the country's ongoing power crisis.
The government's view that the blackouts today are a result of the Free National Movement's decision is not only nonsense, but it's an absolute lie.
And then
the Department of Immigration says they're investigating cases of alleged abuse and bribery. Stay tuned to Our News Tonight for more details.
And then in our news at 7:30, owners of a top electric vehicle dealership and EV drivers pushing back after their charging practices now being blamed for ongoing power woes. We have the details for these stories and more as Our News Live at 7 starts now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. Bahamas Power and Light and the Bahamas Grid Company urging customers to cut back on their energy use. During a press conference yesterday, officials warned that overloaded circuits and rising electricity demand could push the power system beyond its limit. But one recommendation sparked immediate debate when officials suggested that even air conditioning should be scaled back rather, a move many residents say is simply unrealistic. Our Evelyn Ferguson took to the streets today to hear what Bahamians had to say, and she joins us live in studio with the latest. Evelyn.
Well, Megan, that suggestion from BPL and the Bahamas Grid Company stirring lots of reaction from residents. Officials just yesterday appealed to consumers to conserve energy inside their homes, saying government agencies have already been asked to cut back to ease pressure on the grid. But that call has left many questioning how much more can they realistically withstand. And tonight, we hear directly from them.
I just feel like they wrong for that because we need those we need those accommodations to keep us cool, like the air conditioning. They should not be able to tell us to cut down on certain things because we paying all this ludicrous amount of money for fees and stuff unnecessary. I think it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense.
Resident Donna Roll says she's already cut back her electricity use as much as possible, so there's simply nothing left to reduce, adding that the suggestion to conserve even more power shouldn't have been raised in the first place.
Water heating, I haven't had water heating in years. Now, for them to say cut back on energy, that is impossible because I hardly have anything off.
Roll then pointed to her electricity bills, saying they continue to climb even though her routine at home hasn't changed.
Enlighten me. I need somebody to tell me how BPL can say that my bill is now higher because I don't conserve energy when I use the same exact stuff that they was giving me $98 for.
And with the summer heat pressing in, John Munning says keeping his home cool is simply non-negotiable.
You need your AC, man. For God's sake, Joe, but get it right. You need the AC.
Meanwhile, Margaret Bain says that if she's paying her electricity bills, she should have the freedom to use her appliances as she sees fit, without worrying about the power grid failing her.
Okay, after a hard day's work and you paying your bills, coming to a hot house, you don't have to tell people to cut off or cut on their air condition because that is their rights to do since they're paying the bill at the end of the month.
Some customers say they're even considering breaking away from the grid altogether, turning to solar power as a way to escape rising electricity costs and repeated calls from BPL and BGC to cut back on their energy use.
If all of us paying, literally, why we have to answer to them? Because our bill keep going up. And like at the end of the day, like, what's the point? What's the point of continually paying if we're gonna have to submit to their rules and this, that, and the next? You know? So honestly, I feel like everybody should go like kind of off the grid because like in this position that we in right now, everybody could get a little enclosure built on the top of their roof and whatever, and do the solar thing. But you know, it's hard to beat the heat.
So while officials insist Conservation, is the key to keeping the grid stable. Many Bahamians say the ask just doesn't match the reality of daily life. And for now, the conversation over how to balance, comfort with conservation is fair from settled. Reporting live in studio, I'm Evelyn Ferguson. Back to you, Megan.
Thanks so much. Our Evelyn Ferguson reporting live in studio. Well, the political debate over Bahamas Power and Light continues to heat up, with both major political parties who've shared governance of the country for the last half a century continue to point fingers. Tonight, opposition leader Michael Pintard is accusing the Davis administration of shifting blame instead of fixing the country's electricity crisis. Our Delvado Emmanuel tells us in this report, Pintard insists the government must take responsibility for the country's power crisis.
We believe that the government's view that the blackouts today are a result of the Free National Movement's decision is not only nonsense, but it's an absolute lie.
Pintard says the government is misleading the public by suggesting the current energy crisis was created by the previous government. He argues that when the FNM left office, Bahamas Power and Light had more than 170 megawatts of available generating capacity, including 135 megawatts at Station A and an additional 35 megawatts from General Electric engines that had been returned to service. He says the real issue was never power generation, but the need to modernize the country's aging transmission and distribution network.
The government knows full well that when they came to power, that we had 135 megawatts of capacity in Station A, and we had GE engines that provided an additional at least 35 megawatts, and those other assets that were out of circulation we brought online. So generation of power was not the central issue.
Pintard claims his administration had already identified the need for major upgrades to the grid and had planned to invest $50 million through a rate reduction bond to improve the transmission and distribution system. He alleges Davis' administration failed to fully execute the plan, while also making a series of policy decisions that reduced revenue needed to improve BPL's infrastructure. The opposition leader says those decisions have left the country with a less reliable power system.
In 2020 and 2021, those summers, we did not have load shedding. We had corrected the problems of the 2019. Now we are facing catastrophic failure. The public should be restless about the failure of this government to execute what they have promised. 1, reliability in power. 2, better prices for power. And 3, cleaner power.
Now, the opposition leader is also calling for greater transparency from the Davis administration on the current state of Bahamas Power and Light, including its energy reform plans. Reporting for our news, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Thanks so much, Delvado. The Department of Immigration is looking into serious allegations of abuse and bribery of foreign nationals. The allegations come after several Haitian nationals took to foreign media following repatriation, alleging physical abuse and money payouts to immigration officers. Speaking on the sidelines of another repatriation exercise at the Lyndon Pinley International Airport this morning, the Minister of State says not only will they investigate, but they will hold those found guilty responsible. Our Joshua Williams tells us more.
In recent weeks, government has been ramping up repatriation exercises, sending illegal migrants home more frequently, most of them returning to Haiti. In fact, on Wednesday, 62 Haitian nationals were repatriated, 49 males, 12 females, and 1 minor. And now there's another story brewing. Since repatriations have picked up, reports have surfaced on Haitian media by those that were sent back home. Those individuals making allegations of abuse and mistreatment by immigration officers here in the Bahamas. And as migrants lined up for the Bahamas Air flight on the ramp at LPIA just behind him, Minister of State for Immigration Darren Pickstock says they're now looking into the serious allegations.
Our fine men and women of the Immigration Department, as you know, they work under very strenuous circumstances sometimes. And while there have been allegations of a breach, I want to assure the public that we are addressing and investigating any allegations of abuse. And there are mechanisms under our law to deal with anyone any of our officers who are in breach of the law.
Now, the minister adds you should report all cases of wrongdoing as it has no place in the department.
And if that is the case, then I encourage those individuals to either report it to the Royal Bahamas Police Force or report it to the Department of Immigration.
How can the agency or organization in question investigate itself?
We have reporting mechanisms at the detention center. Right? These individuals do go to court as well, where they're charged. Again, we have independent investigations at the Department of Immigration. We have an independent body that investigates any complaint.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks so much, Josh. The recent hiring of a young woman to a senior role within the Public Parks and Public Beaches Authority has triggered an online discussion regarding her alleged political connections. A well-known social media personality sharing the news of the young woman's employment on Facebook, alleging she's a member of the Free National Movement's youth arm. She also voiced her discontent, claiming the woman secured the position while, in her view, supporters of the governing Progressive Liberal Party are struggling. Well, Our News spoke to the chairman of the Public Parks and Public Beaches Authority, Jamal Strawn, about the social media uproar. He says while he can't speak about the hiring process, he could say an individual's political beliefs are irrelevant. Strawn went on to insist the Davis administration is focused on fairly hiring those who can aid in the national development of the country.
You would have seen scores of young people hired across the length and breadth of Bahamas, especially in the public service, and also opportunities given a wide range of Bahamians, young, old, young at heart.
A man is facing a second trial for a deadly collision after the Court of Appeal overturned a judge's decision to tell a jury to acquit him. The High Court found that Justice Neil Brathwaite was wrong when he found that Delmaro Johnson didn't have a case to answer concerning the April 23, 2025 death of Timothy Stubbs. Prosecutors alleged that Johnson was driving along Carmichael Road on April 21st when his Honda Pilot veered into the path of a Nissan Cube that Stubbs was driving, causing a head-on crash. Johnson blamed his then-girlfriend, Kiara Murphy, for causing the collision when she grabbed the steering wheel while they were arguing. Murphy pleaded guilty to vehicular manslaughter at the close of the prosecution's case. She was sentenced to 8 months in prison and ordered to pay $20,000 in compensation to Stubbs' estate. Well, we've got more news to share tonight, but for now, meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg, happy hump day. How's it looking?
Yeah, thanks, Megan, and a happy Wednesday evening, everybody. Another cloudy evening on the outdoors right now. A lot of moisture in place. We'll show that in our satellite picture, but it's keeping us with some showers in the vicinity. 85 degrees is our current temperature. Partly cloudy, as I mentioned. East winds at 12 miles per hour with a little bit of a breeze out there, but your feels like temperature still hanging out in the 90s. 95 is what it feels like on the outdoors. Temperatures right now around the chain of islands. We are in the 80s tonight. 86 in Freeport, Grand Bahama. 82 over in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. We pick up a string of 84s. Allenstown, Bimini, that's North Andros, Nicholstown, Great Harbor, Key, the Berry Islands, also in Governor's Harbour, Lutheran, and several of you have some showers in the vicinity. Here in the capital, 85. Central Bahamas, South Andros, Kemps Bay, 83, 85s. Arthurstown, Kid Island, Black Point, Exuma, Georgetown, Exuma, Coburn Town, San Salvador, Port Nelson, 84 degrees there. Deadman's Key, 86, and into the southeast Bahamas. 85 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, Abraham's Bay, Maguana. 86s, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, and in Matthewtown, Inagua. Good neighbors to the southeast, Turks and Caicos Islands. You have a temperature of 87 at this hour. Satellite radar composite, a lot of moisture still in place, bringing some showers and some thunderstorm activity across most of the chain of islands, so everybody getting in on some of that rainfall action and some thunderstorms. Bulk of the moisture still across Florida, but we have an upper level disturbance and a surface trough that's approaching us from the east. That will keep our atmosphere a little unstable, and we do have an upper level disturbance or a dip in the jet stream across the southeast United States. That's helping to pump the moisture across us. So keep in mind showers in the forecast for at least the next couple of days before things start to clear for the weekend. Keep your umbrellas kind of handy. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. We'll take a second look at our weather when we come back.
Coming up in sports, BJ Murray back on the prospect list because of course he is. Will he make someone's trade list? Then a look back at Kara Hanna's historic run at bronze at the Commonwealth Games.
A Sure Win is open 24/7. You can now top up your AssureWin account anytime online with the online deposit option on AssureWin.com.
Or via any convenient Sun Cash ATM. Just click the AssureWin selection.
It's quick, easy, and always open. AssureWin online. What's your game?
Lotto, casino, or sportsbook.
Win big. It's a sure win.
Quick, easy, and always open. AssureWin online.
When you are hungry and on a tight budget, don't settle. Make the only choice and head on over to Wendy's and grab a biggie bag. Choose from a day's single, classic, or spicy chicken with a junior fry, regular drink, and 4-piece nuggets for only $9.95. That inclusive, order one today. That is made fresh especially for you when you order it. Wendy's is fast food done right. Certain restrictions apply.
For 38 years, Struckham Commercial Pest Services has provided trained certified technicians while using environmentally safe industry standard products. Pests can devastate your business. Together, we will ensure adequate sanitation standards and safe pest exclusion methods. Uncontrolled pest problems lead to significant financial loss due to food contamination, business disruption, and stock waste. Struckham provides detailed solutions protecting your business and reputation. Struckham, #1 in pest control services.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by Tantier Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. There's already been tons of player movement in the MLB, and although the trade deadline has passed, we still got to keep an eye on the minor leagues because it's still free BJ Murray until it's backwards or until he gets the call. Whenever the trade deadline rolls around and your name keeps popping up, that could mean multiple things. In this case, we'll take it as a good sign. Murray was rumored to be one of the Cubs' most valuable trade chips, but when the deadline passed, Chicago kept him. Now he's listed at number 45 in the Cubs prospect system, according to MLB Pipeline, and of course the numbers back it up. Speaking of the trade deadline, of course Jazz wasn't going anywhere. That was a no-brainer to us, unless he went to the Dodgers, which is what 10YS would do if we had the budget. We would just get everybody. After going 13 straight at-bats without a hit, Jazz ended all that by just hitting one out of the park. He crushed his 17th homer of the season to help the Yankees blank the Cardinals 2-0, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Still on an emotional high from the Commonwealth Games, the medal on the track was expected. We've been spoiled by that. The one on the judo mat, this one was new. Less than a week after coming up one match short of a medal at the CAC Games, Kara Hanna was not leaving Glasgow empty-handed. The judoka bounced back in a big way, winning the first ever Commonwealth Games judo medal for the Bahamas with her bronze in the over 78 kilogram division. That'll do it for our sports. We got one more in us. Circle back right here on our news at 7:30.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world. As U.S. President Donald Trump said, a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz could come as soon as tomorrow. Plus, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said there will be no Israeli withdrawal from Gaza until Hamas has been completely disarmed. We have the details when our news returns.
Rubens has career wear from Casper and Klein and LeSuit that will take you from office perfection to after-hour elegance with professional tailored suiting and business casual pieces. We have your 9-to-5 fit, even in plus. At Rubens, we believe trailblazing women need clothing that will consistently deliver powerful looks that complement their style and confidence. Rubens has workwear for the guys too, with Dockers and Nautica pants, dress shirts, and more to enhance his professional wardrobe. Get dressed up with Rubens, Harbor Bay and Palmdale Plaza, with timeless suiting made to work.
You or a loved one currently under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Our compassionate team is committed to patients and their loved ones. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept all major insurance. With 2 locations to serve you, at Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street, we also ship to the Family Islands. Visit us on Facebook or call Ports at 377-1771.
Hey, you see Paradise Games out of new casino?
What you mean new casino? You mean like new games?
Yes, babe. Brand new games. You ain't never see these yet. Check this. It's right under casino.
Oh, casino tree. But these are hot, eh?
I'm showing you. Paradise come up with all kind of games.
Come on, I need to go slap something on my account, man.
I might as well top up one time. Roll
Paradise Games, where every spin is a chance to win. Paradise Games reminds you to please game responsibly.
And topping world news, U.S. President Donald Trump said a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz could come this week as Iran and Oman inch toward an agreement on the critical waterway that could ease pressure on the global economy and potentially bring help to end the war. The United States, along with Israel, launched the war on February 28th, citing various goals, including toppling Tehran's government and ending its nuclear program. Those were not achieved, and the conflict has devolved into a fight over the strait as Iranian attacks on shipping have ground traffic through the waterway to a halt. Trump is also under mounting pressure to end an unpopular war ahead of midterm congressional elections. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Tuesday that Israel will not withdraw from its current lines in Gaza until Hamas has completely disarmed and pushed back on a recent deal announced by U.S. President Donald Trump. Netanyahu's remarks cast more doubt on the deal to disarm Hamas, which was seen as a potential breakthrough for ending the war. It also marked a rare public display of a friction with the Trump administration. Netanyahu, who faces a tough battle for re-election in October, reiterated his stance that disarmament should come first. He said Israeli forces would continue to, quote, do whatever is necessary to protect themselves, our territory, and our citizens, end quote. Saturday night marked the sixth island-wide blackout since the Trump administration effectively cut Cuba off from oil, its main energy source, in January. While authorities on Monday said they were working to get the power back on, much of the island still had no electricity. The recurring power outages, combined with the stifling heat, has created collective insomnia on the island as residents struggle to get through the night. Some have slept on the boulevard. Others struggle to get some rest on balconies and front porches. Day-to-day life has grown increasingly difficult since the U.S. threatened to impose a tariff on any goods from countries that sell or provide it with oil. That was a debilitating blow after decades of U.S. economic sanctions, with the island's infrastructure crumbling and a surge in migration. And then in our news at 7:30, Jonathan Eric Gardner indicted in the Northern District of Georgia with federal drug importation and conspiracy offenses. We've got the details coming up when our news continues.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
Danielle here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see more great content, be sure to hit that notification button and follow the team you already trust.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on our TV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, industry leaders, cultural icons, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episode on our YouTube channel. 9 seasons strong, and we're just getting started.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Tourism paying tribute to and honoring the life and legacy of a Grand Bahama man affectionately known as the Stingray Whisperer, Keith Cooper. The statement notes that Cooper, through his passion for marine conservation and sustainable tourism, helped to showcase the incredible natural beauty of Grand Bahama and inspired countless visitors and residents to appreciate and protect our marine environment. As the managing director of West End Ecology Tours, he dedicated more than 15 years to educating tourists and visitors about southern stingrays and demonstrating how conservation and tourism can work hand in hand. His enthusiasm, knowledge, and love for the Bahamas left a lasting impression on everyone fortunate enough to experience his tours. The Ministry of Tourism also recognizing Keith's extraordinary contributions to our tourism industry and extends heartfelt condolences to his family, friends, colleagues, and all who had the privilege of knowing him. Well, to watch any of today's top stories, be sure to visit ournews.bs or join the conversation at Our News Bahamas on your favorite social media platforms. That's going to do it for Our News at 7. I'm Megan Shepherd, handing it over to our Jerome Sawyer for the latest headlines. Jerome, happy hump day, halfway there.
Yeah, almost there. So the Stingray Whisperer in our conversation earlier, you did that.
I did it a few years ago. We were able to feed the stingrays with your hand. Scary at first, but he actually made it so calm and it was so educational that no worries. It was a good experience.
I think back when I first met him, he said, I have to get you to Grand Bahama to do the Stingray experience. And now here I am, wishing I really, really did. But of course, great work, a great man, and of course, condolences to him, his family, I should say, and all the people of Grand Bahama.
He will be missed.
All right, thank you so much, Megan. Well, more backlash to the damage control attempts by BPL and Bahamas Grid. Plus, meet the man behind one of the newest hits on the local music scene. Here's a look at your latest headlines. First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30.
Somebody said we were ready, and then the heat came, and then somebody said, actually, we do have capacity, and then we were told not to drive our EV cars.
The backlash continues a day after a critical news conference from the two companies responsible for the power and the ongoing outages. Tonight, the MP in the area hardest hit over the holiday weekend responds. And then more pushback from one of the largest electric car dealerships in the country after car charging stations were blamed for placing a strain on the power system. Also hear what some car owners are saying in response. And then...
It still doesn't feel real. Those are the heartbreaking words of the father of the late Melvin Henfield, who says that his family cannot properly grieve until the body has formally been identified and released. More up on his emotional plea straight ahead.
It's a story you'll see only on Our News. And later, from social media star to national sensation, the man behind the popular Coming Home Independence favorite. Our News Live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button if you'd like to see more content like this. Follow all of the Our News social media pages so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Welcome to Our News Live at 7:30. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jerome Sawyer in for Italia Hall tonight. The backlash continues one day after a joint news conference between BPL and Bahamas Grid in an attempt to do some damage control over the ongoing nationwide power outages. The most recent over the Emancipation holiday weekend. Western New Providence took the brunt of the rolling outages, with some neighborhoods reporting power cuts for more than 12 hours. Today, Killarney Member of Parliament Michaela Barnett-Ellis came out hard against the power company's explanation. Her harsh comments in direct response to that press conference Tuesday at the office of the Prime Minister, where officials tried to explain what led to the repeated failures in the power grid. Bahamas Power and Light has since pinned the blame on a feeder failure at the Windsor Fields substation, which officials now say has been fixed. They also called on customers to conserve energy, but the Killarney MP says their comments have left more questions than answers.
Somebody said we were ready, and then the heat came, and then somebody said actually we do have capacity, and then we were told not to drive our EV cars, but the government's been encouraging us to drive EV cars and purchase EV cars. In fact, the government itself has a significant fleet of EV cars. And then, my personal favorite was go sit on the beach. I don't know if you know, but we're under an extreme heat advisory, and they've been advising us to stay indoors.
And while we've seen fewer outages these last few days, Barnett-Ellis says residents aren't letting their guards down.
I remain cautiously optimistic, but the proof is in the pudding. They said we were ready for summer, and then this happened. So we're really going to have to wait and see. I hope that they are making improvements, because honestly, it's too hot to be going without electricity. And
well, that public backlash continues over those statements from Bahamas Grid Company suggesting the rise in electric vehicle charges is to blame in part for the increased demand on the power grid. Now, one of the country's largest electric vehicle dealerships and EV drivers is pushing back, saying the real problem isn't electric cars, but an aging power system. Our Delvado Emmanuel tells us what they've got to say.
The country's power woes are sparking new questions. One being, are electric vehicles adding to the strain on the grid, or are they being made the scapegoat?
The issue came to light after Tuesday's information session at the Office of the Prime Minister, where Bahamas Grid Company CEO Dario McKenzie and COO Brian Holder referenced the growing number of electric vehicles and home chargers while discussing the island's rising demand for electricity. Those comments have now drawn a sharp response from Pia and John Farmer, the co-founders of Easy Car Sales. In a Facebook post, the farmers said they were very concerned that electric vehicles were being used as an example of what's putting pressure on the grid. They say that's simply not the case. The farmers argue that average electric vehicles uses about 25 kilowatt hours of electricity a month, about the same as an electric water heater or clothes dryer, and much less than what many homes use to run their air conditioning. They also say there is no requirements for homeowners to get approval before installing a home EV charger, adding that most chargers fit well within a home's existing electrical capacity. The letter goes on to say there are only an estimated 2,500 electrical vehicles on Bahamian roads, making their impact on the nation's grid relatively small. Social media users also joined in on the conversation. One user said, "It's laughable the amount of excuses they are trying to give us, the Bahamian people." Another said they are pointing fingers in every direction. On the defense, the farmers say the country's power problem are the result of an aging grid, years of underinvestment, and a failure to plan for the country's future demand. They also point to the government's goal of having 50% of all new vehicle sales fully electric by 2035, saying the focus should be on preparing the power grid for that future, not blaming electric vehicles for today's power woes. They end their letter by saying EV owners are helping to reduce fuel imports, cut emission, and save money, and adding that they should be part of the solution, not the scapegoat. Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
And those power outages also impacting some critical healthcare services. The disruptions at the Princess Margaret Hospital and its dialysis unit getting the attention of the Bahamas Nurses Union President Muriel Lightburn, who claims the outages are affecting clinic operations. Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville responding to those claims earlier today.
Well, the power outage did have an impact on us. We have mitigated the strategies. We're working with generation powers to ensure that if we have a power outage, we have the generation capacity so that operations are not interrupted. We believe that we have developed a formula here at the Princess Margaret Hospital and by extension to our clinics, and we feel comfortable that going forward it will have less interruptions as was initially when the power outage began.
Now, at the end of June, the U.S. Northern Command donated more than $400,000 worth of equipment, including generators, to the Ministry of Health. Dr. Dovel says those generators were primarily for the Family Islands.
Those generators are smaller capacity generators. Their main focus is for the Family Islands. I could assure you that under the Public Hospitals Authority, as well as the Department of Public Health, the distribution is near completion.
Well, nearly a month since that tragic Independence Day plane crash claimed the lives of 10 people, many of the victims' families are still grieving, unable to properly bury their loved ones. One father says his family is still waiting for the one thing they need the most, that's closure. He's speaking exclusively with our Chinasa Outen tonight.
Every hour and minute without knowing or without having his remains is antagonizing to me.
Nearly a month after the deadly plane crash that claimed 10 lives, the family of Melvin Henfield, better known as DJ Fresh, is still not able to lay him to rest. His adopted father, Bishop G. Elton Major, says, without seeing his son's body, it's made it even harder to accept that he's gone, leaving the family still searching for closure.
Because as far as I'm concerned, I still think he's alive too. That's how, that's the mental state. Because I ain't see that. I ain't see nothing. And like I tell them, I know I got to see. Whatever they give me, I want to see.
Last month, Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville announced that the government would cover the cost of DNA testing abroad, needed to identify the remains. But Melvin's father says he never expected the family to pay.
It's the government's job to find out who was who so they can give you the proper remains. That ain't no help to us. You want us to pay for it? If it's a fast track it, I'll pay.
Bishop Major says that just when the family thought that they were closer to getting answers, they were told that the remains they believed were Melvin's actually belonged to another crash victim.
Apparently, according to what Ken said to me, they had him to possibly try to identify somebody else. And he said it wasn't Melvin, something that part.
Despite the setback, he says that he believes that he could identify his son himself if given the chance.
If they let me inside there, I sure I could find him. I said I know I could find Melvin. I know Melvin. If you take everything off him, I should be able to identify him.
Now, while the identification process continues, Melvin's family says they're not focused on what the government may or may not do. Right now, they just want their son's body so that they can lay him to rest. Until then, they say the tragedy still doesn't feel real, leaving them without the closure they need to begin healing. Reporting for Our News, I'm Chinasa Outen.
And more damning allegations tonight for a Bahamian man locked up on drug charges in the United States. Accused Bahamian drug trafficker Jonathan Eric Gardner has now been indicted in Georgia on federal cocaine trafficking charges. The indictment, which was unsealed earlier today, alleges that Gardner peddled cocaine into the Atlanta area between 2022 to 2026. Gardner has been at the center of a political controversy following an election day plane crash in the Atlantic, which he and 10 others survived. They were rescued by U.S. officials and taken to Central Florida for medical treatment. But in the days that followed, he was indicted in the Southern District of New York on drug charges. In that June indictment, it is alleged that Gardner was involved in a drug trafficking conspiracy starting on or about May 2021 and up to May 2026. His arrest, though, has created a political firestorm here at home over the alleged involvement of an unnamed Bahamian politician. He has since pleaded not guilty in a U.S. court. An embattled Royal Bahamas Defence Force drill instructor is back in legal trouble tonight. Prosecutors say the 27-year-old Yashuk Cox indecently assaulted a 21-year-old woman on August 1st while on bail for allegedly sexually and physically abusing cadets in July of 2025. Now, Cox, who's suspended from duty, denied the charges at his arraignment before Magistrate Abigail Farrington. He was denied bail and is due back in court on November 9th. A woman has been awarded more than $39,000 in damages after she was accidentally burned while attending a school reunion at Sapodilla Fine Dining Restaurant a decade ago. Sherelle Cartwright was at a function on July 16, 2016, when a server caught her clothes afire while serving a flaming dish. As a result of the incident, Cartwright received second-degree burns to her right thigh and suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder. Cartwright had sought more than $150,000 in compensation. All right, we have a lot more news to get to, but first it's time for your first look at weather temperatures around the country. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center tonight. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Jerome, and welcome back, everybody, for a second look at weather outside our studios. Cloudy skies, 85 degrees our current temperature. East winds at 12 miles per hour. Feels like temperature, a very warm 95 degrees is what it feels like on the outdoors. Satellite radar composite. We have a lot of moisture in place, courtesy of an upper level trough or dip in the jet stream across the southeast United States. Also, we have a surface trough to the east of us and an upper level disturbance approaching us. That's going to continue to keep us trapped with some moisture across us. So showers and thunderstorm activity in the forecast tonight through tomorrow. So everybody seems to be getting in on a little bit of that action, and we will continue this through at least Friday before things start to clear up. But keep those umbrellas handy. You may have to use them over the next day or two. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. We'll take a look at the tropics and your extended forecast later on in the newscast.
And still to come on our news tonight.
In the meantime, I am providing my constituents with ice and drinks and just anything to help them get through this very short period.
This member of Parliament offers some instant relief to his constituents in the midst of this ongoing heat wave. Plus, the song that dominated the airwaves this independence season, from going viral on social media to center stage at this year's National Cultural Show at Clifford Park. Ghetto Picnic. Cheers the sauce behind the song.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
The Royal Bahamas Police Cadets registration is opening once again, and we are looking for you. You 15 through 17 years old in grades 10 or 11, have a minimum GPA of 2.5, and possess at least 5 VJCs with C's in math and English. Then apply today. As the oldest cadet program in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, we are dedicated to ensuring that every single cadet enlisted is equipped with life skills that will take them through adulthood. If you are interested and with your parents' permission, log on to www.royalbahamaspolice.org/cadet. Print the application and submit it to the Police Training College on University Drive. For more information, contact the Police Training College at Enter to learn, leave to serve.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers.
Recent blackouts coupled with extreme heat making for a miserable few weeks for everyone, it seems. In line of the ongoing power cuts, people are trying to find ways to cope. Golden Isles Member of Parliament Darren Pickstock, though, took it a step further, offering free bags of ice to his constituents. Pickstock, who's also the State Minister for Immigration, spoke to reporters on the sidelines of a migrant repatriation exercise this morning.
In the meantime, I am providing my constituents with ice and drinks and just anything to help them get through this very short period so that it can just assist them with being cooled down. And as you can see, the temperature is sweltering and it's pretty warm.
When pressed by reporters, Pickstock says he understands the frustration the residents are feeling.
The government has a very comprehensive energy program, and they are carrying that out. At the moment, we're trying to stabilize the power, and so that is the focus right now, to stabilize the power. As you know, it's the summer month, and so more power is being used. And so it creates a burden, an additional burden on the grid. And so the government is trying to stabilize that power so that we could continue to carry out the energy reform, the comprehensive energy reform on the government's agenda.
Coming up in sports, the Chicago Cubs had a lot of transactions last week. Still waiting on the most important one, though. But BJ Murray is back on the prospect list, so there's that. And the year of milestones for combat sports continues. We look back at Kara Hanna's path to Commonwealth Games bronze.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other.
Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8 p.m.
The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here. On the Record.
The Royal Bahamas Police Cadets registration is opening once again, and we are looking for you. You 15 through 17 years old in grades 10 or 11, have a minimum GPA of 2.5, and possess at least 5 VJCs with C's in Math and English. Then apply today. As the oldest cadet program in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, we are dedicated to ensuring that every single cadet enlisted is equipped with life skills that will take them through adulthood. If you are interested and with your parents' permission, log on to www.royalbahamaspolice.org/cadet. Print the application and submit it to the Police Training College on University Drive. For more information, contact the Police Training College at Enter to learn, leave to serve.
Every year, car theft in the Bahamas rises. Thieves are getting smarter and faster. Is your car a target? Compact vehicles are at risk. Don't become a victim. Simple steps can make all the difference. Lock your car. Invest in anti-theft devices. Park smart. Protect yourself. Stay alert. I am PC 4392, Trayshawn Ferguson. Stay vigilant. Report suspicious activity. And let's create safer communities together. Learn more by visiting theroyalbahamaspoliceforce.org.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. There's already been tons of player movement in the MLB, and although the trade deadline has passed, we still got to keep an eye on the minor leagues, because it's still free BJ Murray until it's backwards or until he gets the call. Whenever the trade deadline rolls around and your name keeps popping up, that could mean multiple things. In this case, we'll take it as a good sign. Murray was rumored to be one of the Cubs' most valuable trade chips, but when the deadline passed, Chicago kept him. Now he's listed at number 45 in the Cubs prospect system, according to MLB Pipeline, and of course the numbers back it up. Hitting .305 with 108 hits, 62 runs, 12 homers, 55 RBI, 9 stolen bases, a .407 on-base percentage, and a .908 OPS for the Iowa Cubs in AAA. Those aren't just good numbers, those are don't trade me unless you absolutely have to numbers, and the Cubs obviously agreed. For now. Speaking of the trade deadline, of course Jazz wasn't going anywhere. That was a no-brainer to us. Unless he went to the Dodgers, which is what 10YS would do if we had the budget. We would just get everybody. After going 13 straight at-bats without a hit, Jazz ended all that by just hitting one out of the park. He crushed his 17th homer of the season to help the Yankees blank the Cardinals 2-0, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Chisholm turned back a hanging curveball with a 103-mile-per-hour exit velo, and it traveled 397 feet into right field. Sub-headline, though, good sign for Yankees fans, they may have gotten a look at their middle infield of the present. Chisholm's homer was followed up by a homer from recently called-up shortstop prospect George Lombard Jr., and the duo also turned 2 double plays on the defensive end. Jazz also had another personal milestone earlier this week when he had his 3rd straight 30-steal season. Still on an emotional high from the Commonwealth Games, the medal on the track was expected. We've been spoiled by that. The one on the judo mat, this one was new. Less than a week after coming up 1 match short of a medal at the CAC Games, Kara Hanna was not leaving Glasgow empty-handed. The judoka bounced back in a big way, winning the first ever Commonwealth Games judo medal for the Bahamas with her bronze in the over 78 kilogram division. Her run through the bracket, every broadcast journalist's worst nightmare. She opened the day with a win over Essohanam Nolene Koro of Togo, then ran through a tough opponent in Cameroon's Rochelle Sophie Mbella in the semis. Then she took down Marie-Loan Durhon of Mauritius in the bronze medal match, and we all learned together that Mauritius is a country. Hannah's bronze medal, along with Devon Charlton's gold, gave the Bahamas 2 medals at the Games and a share of 20th place on the overall medal table. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. Busy week ahead. We got World Juniors in Oregon, CACs in the DR, Caribbean Amateur Golf right here at Royal Blue. So many reasons we need reliable power this week. Or just, like for life in general.
And still to come on our news tonight.
Where did that name come from?
Ivan Negero.
The sauce behind the song. Plus, Greg is back with your extended weather forecast. Stay with us.
Danielle here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see more great content, be sure to hit that notification button and follow the team you already trust.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on our TV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, industry leaders, cultural icons, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episode on our YouTube channel.
This is our news. Welcome back. The tropics quiet. We do still have that Saharan dust out there that's keeping the entire Atlantic rather quiet. Some embedded tropical waves in that air mass, and they're not showing any signs of organization. We have a very strong tropical wave actually coming off the African coast. We'll continue to watch that. The Western Caribbean as well as the Gulf of Mexico also quiet. Closer to home, we still have that moisture trapped in place across our area. Upper level trough or dip in the jet stream across the southeast United States, keeping a lot of moisture across us. We have a disturbance also in the upper levels just to the east of the islands, and a surface trough just to the east of the Turks and Caicos Islands. That will continue to move the moisture across our area. So we're looking at some showers and some thunderstorms in the forecast tonight to tomorrow, and likely to continue into Friday before we start to see some things clearing up. But in the meantime, make sure you have your umbrella and your rain gear handy, because you may need them for the next couple of days. Future forecast showing the moisture across mainly the northwest and central Bahamas, with some activity just to the east of the islands. But through Thursday, a lot of that moisture will continue to track across our area, keeping us in a wet weather pattern, and that will likely go into Friday with the bulk of the moisture now moving across Florida. And of course, as I mentioned, you may need to have those umbrellas kind of handy. Boating forecast: northwest and central Bahamas tonight. Caution flag for the Atlantic. Risk of rip currents exists there. Easterly winds at 10 to 15 knots. They will be gusting at times. Seas 2 to 4 feet locally, but they will be building up to 6 feet in the Atlantic waters. Low tide is at 7:51 tonight. The high tide takes place at 1:37 in the morning. Southeast Bahamas, that caution flag remains in place. East to southeasterly winds at 15 to 20 knots. Seas will be running 4 to 6 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, looks like we will keep the moisture in place Thursday and Friday with some occasional thunderstorm activity. Temperatures will approach the 90-degree mark, but the feels-like temperature will likely to get into the 90s, but we return back to the 90s for the end of the week and into the weekend, and looks as though we'll be popping some mid-90s by early next week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thank you very much, Greg, and thanks for the heads up on the rain. I'm not always quite sure how I feel about rain during the summer. Sometimes I feel like it cools us down. Sometimes I feel like it makes us a little hotter, but we'll see. Thanks a lot. Well, finally tonight, the song that dominated the airwaves this independence season and went from going viral on social media to taking center stage at this year's National Cultural Show at Clifford Park. Ghetto Picnic has quickly risen to fame. The rising star giving the exclusive to our very own Danielle Miller, sharing how his background contributed to his success.
I stand, tell me pack my clothes them by.
The song Coming Home by Ghetto Picnic is widely viewed as the anthem for the country's 2026 independence season. Performed over a simplistic rhythm that incorporates the sounds of rake and scrape and traditional drums, the song's catchy lyrics promote the slogan, "It's better in the Bahamas." Released more than a year ago, the tune gained attention through extensive social media promotion, eventually attracting the interest of junkanoo groups, disc jockeys, and cabinet ministers. After his recent performance at Calyx Made in the Bahamas event at the Nassau Cruise Port, I had the chance to engage in a conversation with the artist. And of course, I had to ask him about the origin of his name.
Where did that name come from?
Even the ghetto.
However, a more profound view emerges as his name remains linked to his origins.
Now, Picnic is not like a Bahamian terminology, that's Jamaican patois. So do you have Jamaican roots?
Yeah, my mother's Jamaican. Yeah.
And your dad is Bahamian?
No, my dad is Asian.
But he was born in the Bahamas. He says his diverse heritage enhances his identity, referring to it as a sauce.
Even though my parents are like from different background, I always felt proud to be a Bahamian, you know. So I mean, me trying to do other style of music, I would get little backlash about it. Like people who don't know my background, they would question the authenticity, but that's still a part of me too. But you know, me doing that track is to kind of tap into the fact that at the end of the day, I was still a little boy downtown watching junkanoo.
And Ghetto Picnic says he's determined not to be labeled as a one-hit wonder.
Next year, around the same time, I can tear it up now. I think you're looking at a KB or something like that.
Reporting for our news, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, thank you, Danny. Great interview. Learned a lot. His song certainly is a favorite among the R News staff. Often I have to come in and make them turn it down at work. Anyway, nonetheless, great story. Thank you so much for that tonight, Danny. And thank you for joining us here on R News tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Jerome Sawyer. As always, it's been a pleasure having you with us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Until then, you have yourself a wonderful evening.